Hi, welcome to the Stewarding for round two of the World Sprint Championship with GRDC. We're just going to go through the first lap instance and make some decisions. So the first one we've got to look at is with Timmy Lettinen and Mark in front, Mark Kerner. Let's watch it from the start. I think it's Let's go back a bit. I think it was just before we went across the line, this one.
Yeah, it was going round the tight corner.
Yeah, so presumably you're on limiter by this time, I guess.
Yeah,
Alright, yeah. I don't think any damage would have been caused by that.
no,
It's not unduly caused anyone any problems.
no. Just blue tyres. It's really hard to go around there at the start of a race. I went
Yeah.
quite wide myself trying to
So I
get
say
round
it's a
there.
weird place to start it because
Yeah,
you're doing a chicane which has got two turns, whereas if you started it on the other straight, you'd only have one turn.
if it was the version with the endurance pit, then it would start on the other straight. But from my understanding, anyway.
Anyway, that instance just going to be an RCI,
Yeah,
right? Or RCI, Racing Instant RI.
yeah.
Okay.
I knew what you meant.
When's the next one?
232. Federico P and Gianluca B.
Okay. Let's go forward a bit. I think we're looking for 232. Oh, there's a bit of contact there. Or is there? Is that contact? It's difficult to tell.
It's a little bit. Let's have a look at it again.
Let's look at it from behind.
Oh, we've gone past the
We
corner.
have, yeah.
Yeah, he's just leaving room for the Ferrari and he's just touched the other guy.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that? Has it
Nothing.
unduly?
I think it,
I think
it looks just like an accidental touch and it didn't hinder the
I don't
car that he
think
touched.
no, I don't think Picassi it's Federico. I don't think he was unduly slowed down by that.
No. Yeah,
Uh,
that's NFA for me, I think.
did well. I don't know how easy it is to spin up the hypercar there, but
It's very easy, so it's,
especially on cold tyres.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a good start
I d-
overall from
yeah,
them.
don't want to penalise that. Okay, what's the
No.
next one then?
233, Mattia B and Alessandro G. Most of the contacts are just on this corner, really, just at the
Yeah,
start.
it's going to be a bit more difficult to unpick. It looks like three wide into the front first corner with the people up the front. Let's look from a bit further back. All right. Okay, so there's a little bit of contact between these two, which I think
Yeah.
is
Oh my God.
and a bit of contact on the outside. I think we're not actually supposed to be looking at this one, but we will since it's happening ahead of the other one. So what? It's difficult to unpick, isn't it? Let's go back.
Who are we on board with just then? The third Lamborghini.
Yeah, Pettick, I think. I mean, they've done really from that angle. They've all done pretty well, to be fair,
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
such a hard corner to get round. I'm just trying to work out what's happening here with is it Matai
Mr. Bouquet.
and Mitchell. But so I think Mitchell's like on full lock and Grossi. If we look at Actually, we'll look at it from this angle, from this car next.
Yeah, he's going in nice and cautious. Just when the Lambo turned in, I think he thought he was clear of this car and just pit maneuvered himself slightly.
Yeah, I think actually the Mitchell probably saved the Lamborghini there
He
from
did,
spinning.
stopped him spinning.
The question is Mitchell, has he missed the apex and gone too hard and hit
He has gone a little wide, yeah.
Alessandro?
I think he's gone a little deep for the cold tyres.
Is this one actually on our sheet or not? Or is this...
Right. We're on board Diaz. Nope,
No, so it's not picked that one up.
no.
I mean, it's so marginal, that one, because you
Yeah,
can see his wheels on full lock.
yeah.
It
Not much he could do.
could the Lamborghini leave more room? Not
Possibly.
really.
But he
Maybe.
probably didn't expect that the car on the right to understeer. Uh, just, race start on cold tyres. I
Yeah,
don't think any
I think
damage would be.
also there was a very slight touch here, which was
Yeah,
nothing really, which pitched him
yeah,
probably closer to the apex than he wanted to go.
yeah.
I think
I think it's
we,
between the three. Yeah, between the
yeah,
three of them in a way, and it's
and
just.
then there was this secondary one out here, which again I don't think was, we're going quite slow at this point, so I don't, it looks quite a hard, I can't see any damage appear there.
No. Side to side damage doesn't always give you damage, I've noticed on this.
The thing is, I'd like to be as, I don't want to stop people from racing.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think,
for me, that I think that's an NFA. They're all bunched up together, but overall they all got through the first corner,
yeah,
and
I think it would
uh,
be harsh because if you
yeah,
penalise Mitchell, then that's
yeah,
caused a knock-on effect. It's caused a bit of a domino effect, but
yeah,
none of them have caused. A, I don't think it's worth looking at any other angles. I think we've got the
no,
best angles there. All right, so for me, I'm not going to penalise anyone for that because it's a lot.
yeah,
It's like 20 seconds, which I don't think
yeah.
would be fair.
It wouldn't. No, I agree.
All right, we'll go on to the next one then. So the next one we've got on our list is Remy, and is it Matteo ahead?
Mathieu B.
Yeah. So just
Sorry
coming
if I'm
into the
pronouncing anyone's name wrong.
that's it as far as I can tell.
Yeah,
So there doesn't actually look like there's any contact.
no, maybe there was like a netcode thing where it picked up a touch, but didn't
Yeah.
look like it.
So that's what it's picked up.
Yeah,
No further action there.
yep.
When's the next one?
237, Alessandro G and Philippe S.
At what time?
237.
I think we've already covered this
Oh,
one.
we have, haven't we? Yep. Right. Okay.
Well, it's probably this bit here. There's yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it's affected Alessandro's.
No.
Let's look at it from behind. I think Philip's just trying to get on a better line at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I want to penalise that one.
No.
I mean, in a way, Alessandro is squeezing Philip a bit
Yeah.
on the left-hand side, but he has left him room. It's like a little tap. I'm here.
Yeah.
And I don't like, just to say, this is, I know technically it's in the rules to squeeze people on going into corners like this, but you are changing line at this point, Alessandro, which I don't think is really fair because there is a car alongside you.
Yeah. It's a bit risky doing it.
It is risky. If you hold that tight line, it causes issues because this car's then got to slow down, especially at the start of a race. If there's a bit more space around and you're a bit more spread out,
Yeah.
the consequences are going to be less. But yeah, that sort of thing at this early in the lap can cause issues. I don't know. I mean, I don't like the way Alessandro's moved across for
No.
for no reason. But is it worth a warning? Probably. I think Alessandro probably knew what they were doing. Let's have a look from on the onboard just to see how it looks from here. I wanted to look at the steering input. There's not many good angles really. I prefer
No,
this.
pretty limited on LMU.
So I'm looking at the steering input. Yeah, there's no actually. Surprisingly, it looks see from the outside it looks like Alexandro's moved across, but actually looking at the steering input, he's just not put much lock on. Is that
Yeah.
normal for it to be jerking about that? Is that just the replay?
I think that's just the replay.
Okay. So, in view of the steering input, I'm not going to give you a warning. Not an official warning anyway, but just bear that in mind next time. That there
Yeah.
was a car almost alongside. Okay, let's go on to
Yeah.
the next one.
Okay, so this is 2 minutes 40, Craig S and Jordan B.
I think we just caught the back end of it. I think we're slightly out of step
Yeah, with the time.
with the
So it
time.
says oh, hang on. 2:38 it's Jordan F. Sorry, I meant my mistake. This is the next one that we're looking at now.
All right, we'll do
I
this
mean,
one now because we're here.
that's nothing. So
No,
I'll put that. I'll put an NFA for that. It's I got the Jordans mixed up. So the 2:38 is Jordan F with reader O.
okay, so it'll be here.
Yeah,
Again, that's it.
that was it. Yeah, no, it's good. Good close racing. Good
Yeah,
start.
I mean, you're going through that corner three wide, which is impressive
Yeah, very.
because it's hard enough going through it on your own, let alone
Yeah.
with two others. Yeah. All right, when's the next one?
2:58, Mathieu B and Alessandro G. Somewhere
Because
along the straight. Is this where the
there was an instant up, or was there?
yeah, there was up here somewhere. I can't remember exactly where it started.
There was
Oh, that was it.
one there.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to look for is whether there's
Steering
any
input.
steering input.
Yeah, I
There
mean,
is.
there
I don't
definitely
know.
is.
I don't know. It looks quite violent, but so
Oh.
Alexandro moves across there. Does he get some sort of a weird thing happen on the steering? So if you
No, can we go on board with yeah, if we go on board, let's just watch the
no, there's definitely some left-hand input coming in
yeah.
there. Is it reactionary? So we're looking at the mirror. I think
So
it
I think at
is.
this right, I think I know what's happened. So I think he's trying to sort of block off the car because they've got a bit of a run on him, and in the mirror,
Yeah,
it looks like he's clear, but he actually, if you look at the radar and the mirror at the same time, you're not actually clear because of the field of view of the virtual mirror.
right, which I can't see from a replay.
Yeah,
But yeah, it does look because as it Mitchell here is obviously giving the slip to
yeah,
um, Philip behind, and I think Alexandra is trying to cover that,
yeah,
getting the
that
slip,
line.
and I think he's left it too late based on
Yeah,
probably based on what you've said, and in this instance, it's had a big consequence.
yeah,
Let's just carry on watching a little bit. Okay, let's go and see what happened to the car behind.
yeah. At this point, I was coming up in the GT3 and I just saw bits of car everywhere.
So the first one's clear.
Yeah, the knock-on effect was pretty big.
Yeah, we've got stuff happening down here, so all these
Yeah,
people are got nowhere to go. There's a spinning
yeah,
car, so the first thing we need to check is whether the brakes are held. I
yeah.
think not on the brakes at that point.
Is he still moving at this point? Oh, yeah,
So I think Alessandro is going to get a penalty for that
yeah,
late move, which is going
yeah,
to be its first lap. So it'll be 10 seconds doubled plus 2 license points.
yeah,
So 1 license point plus 1 extra because it's the first lap. So does so he's on the brakes hard there, and then he's off the brakes and on the brakes. I know what's happening because it's tempting when you're spinning. You're thinking, oh, I'll come off the brakes because I'm going backwards at this point. But I suspect if you'd have held the brakes, you'd have probably have gone into the barrier, maybe bounced off the barrier. Impossible to say, but off the brakes, on the brakes isn't really acceptable. You've got to be on the brakes all the time. From the time you've lost control,
yeah,
you need to be holding the brakes because it makes it more predictable where you're going to end up. Hopefully, it makes it more predictable. Sometimes it
yeah.
doesn't, but on balance, it does. So it feels harsh to give you a penalty because you've ended up in this situation
I mean, he almost
unfairly.
held it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if he hadn't have been hit from behind just then, I think he would have carried on in a straight line. I think he recovered it. The car looked like it briefly regained control.
Well, let's have a look at that because that's the only mitigation. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a penalty.
Yeah.
So close. He's nearly got it and he's going right
So he's on the brakes.
off the brakes, off the
Yeah.
brakes, off the brakes,
So at the
off,
moment,
still
he
off the brakes.
flicks it back round.
Now he's on the brakes
Yeah. Which is
and off the
helping to.
brakes again.
Yeah.
There's
I
more.
think at this point,
Yeah.
I I, I think he would have carried on. I think he'd got the car
Yeah,
pointing in the right
I
direction.
agree, but is that only because he was off the brakes? Because you're right, at this point he's almost got it back again.
Yeah.
The thing is, this is. I know you're not supposed to look at the how it affects other people necessarily for an individual instant, but
Oh.
you've destroyed a lot of the field here. And I don't know if maybe if you'd have held the brakes, you wouldn't. If that wouldn't have happened. That's my dilemma.
Yeah.
Let's look at it from a bit further back again. I think this car gets collected, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So at this point, everyone here is they can probably see that. They see the smoke at least, so they're going to be
Yeah,
backing off.
yeah,
He
straight.
decides to
He's
go left, but loses control,
yeah.
and that hits this car here.
He's on. He's on. Hendricks on the brakes straight away.
Yeah, got a
Yeah,
cut.
and at full speed, the car's coming into to this incident.
I
Just
mean, at this point, neither of these cars know which way to go
that they
because
can't.
of
Yeah,
the.
they can't predict what's going where, and yeah, nothing they could do really.
Thing is Hendrick at fault? Difficult to say, really.
I mean,
I don't
I,
think there's a
I
lot
don't
you can
think
do,
he
is there?
is. He was just trying to. As soon as he saw the incident, he was on the brakes and then trying to decide which way to point the car for the best. And you just so hard to do when there's cars up ahead, spinning.
Everyone's slowing down.
Yeah, everyone's just trying to navigate through, but it's just too much of a mess, unfortunately.
I think Richard is a cookie slowed enough for me.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, so let's go back a bit to the next person. Just gonna work our way back, see what happens. Okay, by this time people are aware.
yeah,
So I think it would be harsh to judge the people that were
yeah,
caught up. However,
yeah,
I do think I think I want to say if you'd have held the brakes, there's a chance it might not have been this bad for everybody else. Would you agree with that?
It's hard to know. I really couldn't say. Just it's all happening so fast
I
at
mean,
full
I
speed.
think it definitely warrants a warning,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
which won't result in a time penalty. I mean, at this
Yeah.
point, time penalties are probably irrelevant anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, just so I will give you a formal warning for that. But so next time, even if you don't, because you don't know what's going to happen, just try and keep your foot on the brake throughout the time you're out of control.
Yeah.
All right, what's the next instant then?
Bear with, I'll just type this up.
I just pause it. Right, so the next one is Hendrik and Mika on lap 3. I think we're looking at.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
that's a tricky one.
yeah, it looks like Hendricks lost the back end at that point.
Yeah.
To me, I don't know if there's someone nearby where we can get a better view from. Not
Yeah, he's got a bit of a drift on.
see if we get a better view from here. If I look at that slowly,
Oh,
definitely sideways from Hendrick there,
yeah.
but trying to look for a nice angle, but I doubt I'm going to find one. It's just random, isn't it? Okay,
Yeah, well,
this is a It's like the car bottoms out because there's loads of
Yeah,
sparks at that point.
I think all the hypers bottom out there. And I think that it might, occasionally just be enough to make the car squiggle a bit. Yeah,
So Mika also gets on the curb a bit there, which
yeah, which,
unsettles the car.
yeah.
Mm, that's a tricky one to unpick.
I mean, they both had something happen that brought them closer to the other
They
car, so
they did.
I don't think there's
Yeah, I
I
think
don't
I
I
agree.
couldn't yeah, I couldn't
If
put a
Mika
penalty, I
hadn't
don't think.
have hit that curb, he'd have been on a tighter line.
Yeah,
But equally, if Hendrick hadn't have lost the back end, probably partly because it bottoms out, but also got the rear right wheel. I mean, at this point,
yeah.
see in slow motion, it doesn't look like it's difficult to get the point where it spins. It's just there where it
Yeah,
starts going.
yeah,
So he's now drifting at speed.
yeah.
Would you normally use more curb on this outside, like you do in a GT3?
You get a track cut quite easily here, compared to ACC. So I normally stay tighter, unless there's someone on my inside. Then I'll let the car do an off track to avoid them. But yeah, it's quite a tight, it's quite a strict track limit. The exit of this.
So I
I just
mean,
thought of something.
Hendrick
Um,
is going straight at this point.
I've got an idea.
Right, go on.
Press the letter I when you're in free cam and see if it lets you move the mouse cursor without the camera moving.
No.
No? Ah, sorry. Yeah, I just thought we might be able to somehow press play without it doing this, but no.
I mean, I'm sort of the view that there is mitigation on both sides, but I sort of feel that Hendrick has is going straight before the point of impact, like there.
Yeah, yeah,
And I don't think even though he's got a bit sideways going in, I don't think at this point he's pretty much going there.
yeah.
And that's at that point
So you
that
think it's more on Mickey
Mika,
going into him technically, you mean?
yeah. I mean, Hendricks
Yeah.
put the pressure on and got
Yeah.
alongside, which has caused the mistake. Yeah,
Yeah, I see what you mean. The curb unsettles him, so he, I suppose, does technically go
yeah, I mean,
into
it
Hedrick.
is a mistake, but I mean, at this point, because we're out of the first lap, and
Oh,
both, yeah, I don't know how much damage they had.
yeah. The second contact looked like something that had caused
No,
damage.
they're still making contact, so
Oh,
yeah, I mean, the car's probably a bit broken by this point.
definitely.
Did they both pit? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a, it's a nasty one. It's like their magnets getting drawn
yeah,
together.
yeah,
See, when you look at it like that, it's a racing incident,
yeah,
but
Yeah, it's only when you slow it down and look at the car's behaviour.
I mean, for me, I think on balance, Mika is more responsible for
Yeah,
the major incident.
yeah, I
Um,
agree.
I think the downfall was taking this
The
too
curve.
tight and hitting the curb
Yeah,
there. So I think for me, I'm going to apply a 10-second penalty to Mika.
yeah,
But you can, if you can get better angles than we've got, you can appeal it if you can provide some evidence.
yeah.
Right, next one.
I'll just type this up.
So the next one is Sebastian. I'm assuming it must be a back marker. Was it 54 you said?
Uh, yeah, 54 minutes, 50 seconds, lap 21.
Not seeing it.
Oh, this is lap 25. So that 54.50 must be wrong. It says lap
Yeah,
21.
let me pause it and see if I can find it. Okay, so after a bit of searching, we have found the instant we were looking for. It was Mark um,
A woman.
and Sebastian in front. Yeah, what's happening here then? Let's watch it again in
Yeah.
full time.
It looks like Sebastian just got a bit nervous about which side the hypercar wanted to go.
Yeah,
So it's
it is difficult.
just a miscommunication, I suppose.
It is a penalty.
Yeah.
I think it's not helped by the fact that I think Sebastian was a bit on the had a slow exit as well.
Yeah.
Probably.
There was someone parked up over there.
Oh yeah. Wonder what happened there. Don't seem to want to move. Yeah, you probably got a slow exit here, and you're probably aware there's a hypercar here. Yeah, I think the general rule of thumb is try and keep to your racing line.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and I know he felt bad because I heard him in the chat. He felt awful that this had happened.
if you're not going to keep to your racing line for any reason, but you should keep to your racing line, you've got to be predictable
Yeah,
and not make sudden movements. I
yeah,
think it could have been salvaged if you'd have just stayed there at that point rather than think, oh, I've got to get back on the racing line. It would have been fine. So that's going to be a 10-second penalty plus a license point for Sebastian. Okay, I'll pause it.
okay.
Okay, so the next one we're looking at is Alessandro and Ian in front, and I think there's another car behind that's involved Philip. So we'll look at it from Philip's point of view. So they're closing in on this Mustang. The Mustang's on the line, slightly wide, so I think Philip takes the opportunity to get alongside, which is fair. There's no contact there. The question is Ian... Ian's like in between a rock and a hard place here, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah,
Because
that's a very difficult
if he...
because
Yeah, go on.
he's the Ferrari's going to go on the inside, so he's left in room, but then he's not expecting the other car to go the other side, and you know what you're supposed to do when you're in the middle of two fighting cars.
Yeah, I mean, he's done the right thing, Ian. He's kept his line.
Yeah,
Um,
he stayed predictable. Question is, what happened?
well, if we watch Ian gets taken out by the Lambo.
Yeah, Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's on the Lambo. That's
yeah, it's the
very
responsibility of a Lamborghini. It's tricky because they're in a real fight behind, but which is
yeah,
why I went back quite a long way to see whether they've been alongside for a while or whether it's
yeah,
no, they're pretty much. I mean, look, they're side by side racing. There's a lot of bumping going on here, which
yeah. But
is
they're having a good battle.
neither one of them wants to give way. They're closing on the Mustang,
Yeah,
and at that point, Alexandro goes a little bit wide.
he should at this point. He should have just let the Ferrari have that and wait for the next left-hander.
Yeah, I
But
mean, yeah, that's on the Lamborghini.
definitely
There's nothing Ian could do to prevent that.
no.
That's another spinner there. Okay,
Yeah,
so that will be 10 points plus a license point.
for
Oh, just
what
where's it
was
gone?
where's the Lambo's name? Sorry, I couldn't.
I think it's Alessandro, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, it's affected Phillips as well. I mean, you could tell the amount of touching going on between them. Um, it was probably going to end with an incident like
yeah.
that. Let's just try and be patient.
Yeah. Yeah, the GT3's race is just as important as the LMP's or Piper's, sorry.
Okay, so the next one we're going to look at is lap 4. It's Adam and who was the other one?
Uh, Federico P.
Federico here. So we look at it from Federico's point of view first. Mm.
That's pretty tricky.
I mean, Adam did leave the door open, but
Yeah.
it's a bit of an optimistic move. If they're both at racing speed,
Is
it,
the is the Lambo making the Apex?
not really.
Hard to say. Yeah.
So I think they're making the apex, but too early.
Yeah.
So they're probably always gonna be going wide, but then look at it in slow motion from Adam's point of view. So
So he
definitely
started
left
turning.
the door open, and it
Yeah.
looks like he's leaving in room here.
Yeah, he's
He's
trying to leave space.
he is leaving space, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's just a bit of a butchered overtake opportunity.
Yeah.
I think Adams left room
Yeah.
for him for the Lamborghini, and I also think the Lamborghini's obviously trying to overtake, so you broke as late as you possibly can. I do think you're heading to the apex a little bit early.
Yeah.
It's really difficult to say, but I don't think Adams at fault there.
No, I agree.
So that's like effectively a sort of penalty. There's probably better overtaking opportunities. Yeah, I don't think it was deliberate.
No.
You've got to go for your chances, and just on this occasion it didn't work out. So that's going to be a 10-second penalty for Federico and a license point. I don't think there's
There you
any
go.
other angles I can get it from really. other than maybe look at it from the car behind again. It's probably too far back to see. Yeah, you see Federico slightly drifting there,
Yeah,
wide. It's
yeah. He is going in
look at
too
him
hot
really,
to come in at that angle.
really slowly. He's drifted. You've even got tyre marks coming in here, and there's another 2 foot on the inside you could have used. So, all right, I'm happy with that decision.
Yeah,
So this incident was Federico. Um, it was an off-track overtake. I think that's why it was reported.
yeah. There's another one with me. If you go on board me,
Yeah, we'll come back to that in
um,
a second. We're unpaused now, by the way.
right. So I don't know what lap it was, but if you go,
Well,
it might be better.
let's deal with that other one first
Okay.
while I've got it on screen.
Yeah.
So obviously you're not supposed to overtake people off track. I think yeah I you've I do want to issue. I do think it's worth a warning because
Yeah.
we don't want to promote people overtaking off track. I don't know if you'd have got an off track for that or a slowdown, but the right thing to do would have been to ease off a bit earlier down the previous straight
Yeah.
down here, because you know you're going to catch them at this point right on that corner, so you just
And
need to
we
ease off a
talked
bit.
about it in the driver's briefing as well, to say to the hypercars, don't overtake on the outside when a GT3 is on the racing line exiting a corner because they've got the racing line.
Yeah,
And that's just a classic, example of going off track to overtake.
yeah, so that is going to be a formal warning for Federico for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just got this one was reported. It's between Nate Walter and can't remember who the other guy is. Our Panos, right? And this is a driving standard thing. So Panos on the right line here. This hypercar should be on the inside line,
Yeah.
going on the inside. Instead, you've chose to overtake off track and nearly cause a massive accident.
Yeah. That is,
It's pretty clear cut.
yeah.
The Porsche can't do anything.
And there is actually 3 times that we know of that, Nate, you've overtaken people off track on the outside. This very nearly could have been a bad incident. You also did it to me. You overtook me blatantly, um, going through Puon off track. You just drove straight around, and this is something we can't have with the hypercars. You've got to drive responsibly.
No, it's not fair because the GT3s don't have the same level of downforce. So as soon
Yeah,
as you put them offline, they're compromised massively on the exit.
yeah,
I mean, I don't know why you're not keeping left at that point.
yeah,
Anyway, is that going to be a warning?
yeah,
Yeah, a formal warning.
yeah,
I think if you get 2 formal warnings, so the warnings are maintained from race to race. So if you've had a warning before, you get a license point. That's how that
yeah,
works.
yeah.
Alright, so I think that's it for this week. I'm hoping, unless there's another one to look at.
Nope, we are all done.
Sorry it's been such a long video. There's quite a lot to look at. Anyway, I'll hopefully see you all next week for a nice clean race with no incidents.
Yeah.
Then I won't see you. Alright, thank you very
All right.
much.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.